Hey guys, Carly here, and Indy, and Darren. This is my lover. You hear me talk about a lot. I wanted to do a live stream. It's taking me a little while to convince him to do this with me. But I wanted to do a live stream as part of this launch of Soul Mode's mental training, because I think it's so important for us to have, I guess, information, support, guidance around bringing the Soul Modes teachings into our relationships. And also I get asked so much about Soul Modes and men, and whether it applies to men and all those sorts of things. And so I thought, well, this guy knows about it more than anyone else on the planet, any other man on the planet, I would say, because he's been on this journey with me over the last however many years. 4 years or something, of figuring this thing out, of writing the book. For those who've read the book, he features quite a bit, right? And so I'm going to fire some questions at him. So huge thank you to Darren for being here with me on his Sunday morning. We're on our bed. And I would love for you to fire the question. Indy, this cat is going to knock the tripod over. You just go there. I would love you to fire your questions at us in terms of maybe how we use it in our relationship, or any questions you've got for Darren or for me, please throw them at us. Or maybe questions your partner might have. If you do, maybe you've got, a husband or a male partner who maybe feels like he doesn't experience this roller coaster. So how can, he might have some questions about, from a man's perspective, who kind of gets how that plays out. In the women in his life, because I thought they said Carly Marie's watching, but it's Caitlin Marie. Hello, twinsies, name twins. And so thanks for jumping on and saying hi. Say hi as you jump on. So I guess I'll start off, babe, with you say that long before kind of I put a framework around this thing, you could see how you've been on this planet 50 something years and have been surrounded by lots of women, raised by a woman. And I would love to know, you've said to me that you sort of saw it before, there's a cat hair everywhere, you saw it before I kind of put names to it, and it's something you've always kind of innately understood about women, that we go through this kind of cycle of, our wants and needs and desires and challenges. Maybe tell me a little bit about that. Samantha's got a really good question. But I would love to know, tell me a little bit about that. Like how did you interpret it before we kind of gave it a name?
I just intuitively, either intuitively or through experience, just constant experience and exposure to it, knew that women went through particular cycles or stages. I thought there were three, essentially three. One was when they were a nightmare, and you just wanted to vacate the space. The second was when no matter what you did, you couldn't do anything wrong, and they were just full of love and adoration.
What's your fave?
Yeah, it's a nice place to be when because it compensated for having to endure the other phase. And then there was a period of sort of normality or ambivalence. So maybe there were four stages. There was where it was just nice and calm, or to a point where there was indifference. So life was vanilla, enjoyable but vanilla. And then you had these two peaks and troughs either side of it, or interspersed amongst it. And I came to that conclusion because my mother was particularly. If she was soul modes on steroids, my mother, she suffered terribly from PMT, what everybody understood as PMT in the day, but what I think we now understand through you giving structure and meaning to how women cycle. Her PMT was probably exacerbated by whatever stage she was in. Yeah.
So it could be like a really angry PMT, or it could be a really mopey PMT, depending which mode she was in when it happened.
Yeah. And then there was this effusiveness period where so go back a couple of steps. So basically my childhood environment was dictated by the mood that she set. She was such a strong presence in our home. She was our primary parent, our only parent. But what it did is you walked in the front door of a night and you could just pick up on the vibe of the house. And it was either everybody run for the bedroom and get out of the way, or it was just you just want to be in that space because it was a fantastic space to be in, that feminine energy space. So I learned to read it.
And respond to it.
And to respond to it accordingly. And so, whereas my two brothers didn't do it as effectively as I did. I seemed to have a capacity to temper things, or not to react to ways, or placate the situation so that no matter what Mum did, I was able to deflect it. And we're talking about a woman that would get into a rage, like a fit of rage, and go looking for things. And so I learned that you could placate it or temper the excesses of that, and then you could then join in the joy of that really euphoric
when
state that she'd get in.
So because of that, you've just become very intuitive and very responsive to the energy that women
give out,
that you're around,
yeah,
or connected to is in.
Yeah, I'm no good with them, but
he's the best. He's amazing.
Yeah. So then my three significant relationships in life with my mum, my first wife, and you have all been with women that are similarly inclined.
We're passionate women with a lot.
Yeah, you could call it that.
Lauren says, does Darren also go through the soulmate cycle? Do you go through the modes?
Again, this is something that I've... can't read it.
It gets extra sexy when he puts his glasses on.
Still can't read, it's too far.
I'll read them.
I'm not sure if we actually do. You've asked me this a number of occasions, and I've ruminated over it, but I'm not sure that we go through the cycles as much as that we react to them, and as a result of that, react to your cycles. As a result of that, we then get into an emotional state that... I know that after you've been through wild mode, I end up getting in wild mode. I end up getting in what you would call my wild mode, because I've had a guts full of having to put up with you at times, and by the time you're through it and you just want to love me, I'm going, fuck off. You've been an ass for the last day or two, and now all of a sudden...
Not so much nowadays.
No, but this is courtesy of soulmates.
Yeah.
Early days...
When I didn't know how to channel it.
Yeah.
So you would...
and I remember saying to you, listen, I've had to put up with this, my mother and my first wife. I'm fucked if I'm putting up with you at my age. And...
Cover little ears, guys.
Yeah, sorry, it's a tradie talking.
I think we want to be really respectful about like your past relationships. Like maybe
we are.
I know.
Well, I'm not denigrating anything.
No, yeah.
But I'm trying to.
It's
put
really
it
normal stuff. Like it's yeah.
Yeah, but it's your living environment.
It's universal.
And so the living environment it's essentially dictated by your moods and your modes, and we either celebrate them with you. We can either celebrate them with you, or they can be divisive. But if we know about them, then we can deal with them and accommodate them and partner you in them. And if we don't, then it becomes a real like, it's almost like a cyclical battle. You just go, here we go again.
Yeah. Oh, which drama? It's a bit like ages with kids. It's like 2 is hard, and then 3 is hard, and then 4 is hard. But it's like you just got to like adjust and be like, okay, this is what we're dealing with now, kind of thing. But I think over time it's gotten easier, because
it's why it's in no small part why we're still together. Mm. The work that you have done on this, and the approach that you brought into our home and our relationship, is why we are able to be together. Because if you ever look at us, if there was a list of boxes that you had to tick that could suggest that a relationship's going to be successful and last,
difference.
None of them get ticked. Yeah. Traditionally, none of them get ticked, or
age
very few of them.
Difference, blended family. Yeah.
First divorces, new babies, new businesses. Both of us, new business, financial worries, and all that sort of stuff, and displacement, huge displacement of where we live, and
moving
yet,
far from home.
Yeah, and yet,
Here
we've been able to we work through those things now, cohesively and collaboratively, because you help me know where you're at.
I think with the men and women thing, I think it's a really important question, because I think I actually had a man reach out to me recently who said, I'm experiencing this too. And I think that I don't know anything about that man other than just this email that I got, and I responded and said thank you and all of that. But I think that my theory at the moment, which I will dig in more before I write the second book, but my theory at the moment is it's feminine core beings and masculine core beings. So I'm a feminine core being and Darren is a masculine core being, and this is an area I'm still exploring and still learning about and studying with Julie Tenner about masculine and feminine and all of that. But I use really mainstream language like men and women, right? Even though, of course, our society is really shifting around gender identity and things like that. I'm using mainstream language because I can only help the masses if they can understand me. And so what will happen over time is that the language around this, I believe, will evolve as society does. And I want to be at the forefront of that. Oh, someone else just bought a ticket to my movie launch today. And so I think that when I use the term men and women, I think it can be a little bit confusing. But what I'm ultimately talking about is masculine core beings and feminine core beings. I think it's a feminine core thing. Samantha has a brilliant question.
Yeah.
Would love to know how you got on board with it, Darren. How did Carly explain it? We sort of found it together.
Well, my recollection of things is that the beautiful thing about you is that you're in this constant state of seeking improvement. No matter what you do, how you do it, you're seeking to be better at it and to learn. And you take the lead in doing that. You take ownership of that and you take the lead in doing that. And I am the happy beneficiary of just having to follow along and enjoy the ride. But when we were going through, when we were at a point where our relationship was forming and could have gone one way or the other, you recognised that we had to do something about where we were at. And so you embarked on a learning process to understand why you're reacting to different situations and circumstances, and then you brought that back into our house, and you essentially you communicated that to me in a way that it was easy for me to understand, and by understanding it, I was better able to accommodate it, or react to it, or let it go, knowing that it was a stage, and that it wasn't purposeful in causing harm or anything like that. I don't mean to harp on about the negatives, but it's the negatives that are the things that divide a relationship. So from that perspective, but then I could when we get through that stage, I didn't react the way I used to. It enabled me to change the way I approached our relationship as well. So instead of being an adversarial environment, it was a collaborative environment.
Totally.
So I hope that makes sense.
I guess the other part of the question, or I get the part I'm reading into the question, is someone who's watching and goes, my husband's not into personal development, he's not into self-help, he's not into anything woo-woo. Not that this is particularly woo-woo, but I get to them it might sound like it is because it's like soul, you know. To me it's like that's just, soul. Like I grew up with that, right? I had a yoga teacher in my house when I grew up, so it's like very normal to me, but I get to some people it isn't. And so I guess part of the question is, how might someone explain it to, I mean, you're a big rugged tradie, like you're a particularly intuitive person, but you're, a footy playing, cricket watching tradie. Like Darren wasn't particularly into personal development either, and still isn't really all that much, apart from when I go read this chapter of this book. But
I'm into learning. I like learning.
And you're into humans and psychology and stuff. So
it's easy.
What do they say?
Do you want a better life? It's real simple. Do we want a better life together? Do we want a better relationship together? Because this is how we can arrive at it. Jack Lang, ex-Premier of New South Wales, said to Paul Keating as a kid, mate, in a 2-horse race, always back self-interest. So if you would adopt a perspective that by sitting your partner down and explaining to them this theory and the benefits of understanding this theory, then the benefit to him or her your partner, whoever it is going to be that their life is better. Their relationship with you is going to be better, but their life themselves and the environment that they share their space in is going to be so much more pleasant, happy, rewarding, and rich. So it's simple. It's a simple sell. It should be a simple sell. Because it's just common. It's common sense. It's not witchcraft. It's not.
No.
It's not. You know what people go, oh, it's spiritual, airy, fairy stuff. It's almost human science.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not. I think that's the important thing. Is don't make it sound like, oh, I've learned this thing. You're probably going to think it's a bit weird and stuff. But maybe it's just like.
If it was me, I'd sit down. Have you ever noticed? I'd start the conversation with that. Have you ever noticed that sometimes I do this or I do that or this when we have a conversation or if we have a fight or if we're really getting on and we're having plenty of sex, that it might have you ever noticed that? And have you noticed that it might be today but not tomorrow, but then a couple of days later it'll be different?
Yeah.
Well, these are the reasons
Guess
why.
what? There's a pattern to it.
Is
and
what they're into?
actually all the other women are going through the same pattern, and turns out
Yeah.
there's all these things I can do in each one of those states that's going to help me feel better and help us be better. And
Yeah. So that's how it started. Have you ever noticed? And if you haven't, here's some examples. And for those that don't get it, but those that most blokes sit there and go, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because they go to, you know, my missus can't get enough of me at the moment, or she's just giving me merry hell. You know, that's the sort of conversations that we had. And people would be going, why?
Okay. What do you love the most about Carly's cycle through the modes? Maybe as in, what do you love it most about each of the 4 versions of me?
Fairy mode.
Sparkle mode.
Sparkle mode. I call it fairy mode because you're like a fairy. You know, you're all over the joint.
No focus at all.
But you're full of love and light. That's why, because I just see a little light with. Yeah. I see a little wand with light coming out of it when you're in that mode. That's where I visualise it.
Yeah.
And you're floating.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a little fairy with it. That's why I keep calling it fairy mode. You are the best of everything that's feminine, and nurturing and loving, in that time, and you make the air in our home soft. So it's a joy to be around. Wild mode, I love that you get shit done, but I love the positives that wild mode, because shit gets done. The negatives is that it can be the attitudinal stuff that comes with it, and the adversarial stuff that comes out. Like it's basically like going head to head with another bloke, and that means that you've got 2 choices as a man. You either rise to the challenge, which means that it's a head to head.
It's a fight.
It's a fight. Generally comes in a fight, or you're almost if you're not aware of it, and this is the nub of it. For the blokes, if they get this, then that's when this is going to be the single greatest advantage in their relationships. In that period, they need just to step back. They're not losing power, but they just step back and they manage passively.
Just clear the path for her to come through like a tornado. Yeah. That's what it feels
and
like
just,
for me.
just turn the other cheek. If you have to, just turn the other cheek, knowing that that by rising up against it, it's going to be force meets force. But by letting it go, just jump on the back and be pulled along. You can get pulled along by that positive if it's able to express itself positively.
Yeah.
Like the other weekend,
she knows what to do with it.
Yeah, the other weekend we pulled the house to bits on the back of you being in mild mode, and that suited me to a T, because I was then because it had been giving me the shits, and so I was you run amok over here and get it done, and I'll now be able to do what I've been wanting to do to assist you. So I benefited from that because you were able to express yourself in that period of time. I didn't fight it. So that's the trick to that one as a bloke. And be conscious. See, my biggest issue early days was that I felt that I was being emasculated and my masculine was being challenged. And I reacted.
Because I was kind of more...
just throughout life. This is throughout life. And you'd find it in your workplaces. Like, I remember at work one time, I said something to you and you basically rose up about 6 feet in front of me and
knocked you down.
Knocked me down. I'm fuck. Which on one part I've gone, who the hell are you talking to me like that? But on the other I go, good on you for you having a go. So it's the way you react that can be.
Darren used to be my boss in that example.
Yeah.
I was like his assistant.
Yeah. Super mode.
That was last night when I was reading.
Yeah, super mode. Super modes again. Super modes are great. Again, it's good because that's where it's like you've got a mate in the house. I've said this I say this quite often. It's like when you've got a mate in the house. It's like life's just pretty easy. It's one of those states when as a kid I was saying there was this sort of ambivalence, but it was a good time, but no peaks and troughs. It was just normal. Well, that's a normal stage. I also revel in the fact that you again get stuff done.
I'm doing the admin, I'm paying the bills, I'm on top of stuff. I'm like, right, I wrote him a list. Next to his bed he's got 3 documents he needs to attend to and a list of 4 things, phone calls he needs to make.
Yeah. It's nice that she makes work for me in super mode. I really appreciate it.
He's going, you don't need to put on a list, I'll remember. And I'm going, I don't want you to remember, I want you to put on the list and remove it from your head because then maybe you'll sleep.
And then we've got bear mode, and bear mode's again, everything's got a positive and a negative, and it's the approach that can make it one or the other, but not. And again, the knowledge. If you give a bloke the knowledge, you'll generally. Now he's a decent. I'm saying bloke because I'm talking from bloke's perspective, but we're equally partner because there'll be the masculine and feminine dynamic in any relationship.
Yeah,
at a particular time. So again, we're using the traditional vernaculars, but they just apply to whomever's fulfilling the masculine or feminine role of that period in that relationship, because it could always be a more masculine and feminine role being filled.
Well, I guess that's something I want to explore more because it's something I don't know enough about. But anyway, share your perspective.
Bear mode, bloke can walk in the door and the house is a pigsty. You're sitting in your tracksuit pants and your hair hasn't been done, your teeth haven't been brushed.
I've generally brushed my teeth, but probably not my hair.
I'm painting an extreme picture. So you can take 2 points of view. What the hell have you done all day? Which is what people...
The kids are eating something out of a box.
Which is... And how you going? Like that. You go, oh, that was great. I've had a prick of a day at work, come home in peak hour traffic, and I've walked into this maelstrom and I don't even get a hello. So... without the knowledge, you go, oh, this is great. And some people might react a particular way. And again, it throws to the negative. Or you can go, righto, what do you need? And again, I'll suck it up. You suck it up, but I don't want that taken in the wrong context either.
Yes.
Everybody in a relationship has to suck something up, but you do it willingly.
Yeah.
So it's not a sacrifice.
It's gonna shift, right? You know that if you can give me you'll be like, I'm going to take the kids out, you go have a bath or whatever.
Yeah.
You know that within less than a day, I've switched to super mode.
Yes. Well, see, that's the thing. You can shift in a day if you're conscious of it.
Yeah. If you feel the cup.
But once upon a time, if you feel it, you can't. But if you don't give yourself what you need,
it
takes longer, and then that can become problematic because that's a long time to be in any particular state. On the other hand, it's like living with Sybil. You know, you wake up with one person, you come home to another.
You watched me shift from super to sparkle last night.
Yes.
Okay.
Fortunately, you're still in sparkle mode this morning, so.
So we've had a nice morning.
You didn't shift too quickly, which is good. But yeah, bear mode. Bear mode it's a great state for you to be in, for us blokes, if we're conscious of it, and we're in a mindset that enables us to be the Mr. Fix It.
Yeah, you really step into a provider role. You really like, what do you need? What can I do?
Where they're able to be the knight in shining armour sort of thing. Right? Go and have your bath. And so we fulfill. We have that desire to serve women fulfilled. And so we feel 10 feet tall if we see you comfortable and happy in that space.
You make me want to cry.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm sparkly.
Yeah, it's time to shift.
I'm getting my sparkle cup filled, which means I'll shift into wild mode for the movie premiere this afternoon.
Never mind, ladies.
No, but wild mode is amazing because it's when I'm most creative and most connected to the next level version of me.
Yes, that's the great part to
wild mode is when I'm like, babe, we're moving out of this house. I'm done.
Yes, and so we are. But it's a great place. If you want to celebrate your woman, then it's a great opportunity to celebrate her successes because it's when she gets stuff done. Get out of her way and let it happen, and then you benefit from it.
There's something, I know there's more questions, but there's one thing I want to add there. Remember, we watched a video by John Wineland, and it's on YouTube, it's called What Men Crave. And I loved it. You kind of liked parts of it, but there was a part in there. Remember, he's sitting on this chair and he's talking to an audience and he says, men crave range.
Yeah.
We want the sexy sultry, and we want the earthy mother, and we want all of that. Yeah. And I feel like soul modes, if we can embrace each of the 4 energetic states that we're in and just allow ourselves to fully be in that, be in your power when you're in super mode and be in your softness when you're in sparkle mode, you get that, right? You get the range. It's like you've got 4 different girlfriends.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got a wonderful dynamic, mix of dynamics, because you've still got the essence of the same woman.
Yes.
But you've got different perspectives and different layers. You've got a different viewpoint, often a different opinion or a different attitude comes from it. Like if I ask you something, if I ask you for an opinion in a particular state, or we're looking to have a discussion when you're in a particular mode, then the response is going to be different in that mode to another. So that's the other thing, because we like blokes like black and white. We like range, but we like black and white. We like surety.
You want to know what you're dealing with.
If we want, because we're problem fixers. Like you keep telling me, I want to fix a problem, and you tell me, I don't want you to fix the problem. I just want you to listen to it. But our default mode is to fix it. See problem, fix problem.
It's beautiful. Such a beautiful thing about masculine beings.
Yeah. So I have a conversation with you and think, well, we can just have a straightforward. I'm going to get the constant opinion from you. Or I'm going to get an opinion from you that I can rely on to be fairly constant. But the beautiful thing about it is that I could potentially get 4 different. Your values are going to.
Yes.
Your value set is going to maintain itself, but like nuances and colours are going to come into your response that give different insights, and therefore you get a broader perspective response to it, which is awfully helpful.
Adele says, can Darren write a book with you to explain it to men, or do a video that we can show our men? Maybe we need a video of you speaking to guys. This is what you need to know about it. What would you say? What would you say to the guys? You actually, you had one of my friend's husbands work with you recently for a week. You just need an extra pair of hands, and he came, and you guys talked about it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And how did you explain it to him? Because he was asking you about it.
Yeah. Well, but the good thing about it when we started talking about it was that he was familiar with it. So she was talking about it with him, which I thought was fantastic. And I said to him, that is the best thing that could possibly happen, because it's all well and good that you guys know about it, but you're half the story. If you want to completely enrich your lives, it needs to be a story shared. A story shared and understood. So what I would say to any bloke is, be receptive to it.
Just
listen to what she's got to say. Ask the questions, because you'll have some, and then be willing to take the to follow the lead and to give and take as you need to.
Would you agree with the statement if I was to say to the men, I know sometimes it might seem like she's all over the place, but believe me when I say she's not crazy. What's happening for her is actually quite magic, and there's so much positivity in it that can come from you.
It's magic if she gives herself what she needs. Like you. If she
got a role to play, like you support
we've got a role to
me
play.
in giving myself what I need.
Yes, yeah, we do. But it's generally on your advice because you tell me if I'm not reading it, there's stuff I can read and there's stuff I can't. Yeah, and you tell me. See, the good thing is that you tell me now if I'm not reading it.
I'm in bear mode. Come straight home from work. Do not stop.
Yeah.
Bring food for the children.
But that's because you're giving yourself the things that you need, or you're asking me to assist you give the things you need. Like when you came to me the other day and said, "Oh, we need to rip this house to bits and clean it up." You told me that that's what you really, really wanted to do. So, without you telling me that, then how was I going to be able to assist you?
So it's not about you I think this is what comes up. This is not about you pandering to my desires. This is about you
partnering you with them. But so I know I haven't answered the questions adequately, but just to stick with those last 2 points. The first one is that you and importantly, you give yourselves what you need. So you get what you need. So you either get it because you can give it to yourself, or you ask for assistance in getting it from your partner.
Like, please take the kids for a couple of hours, or
give me this, or can you cook dinner, or can you give me a back rub? Can you run me a bath? Can you whatever? Can you help me? Can you help me clean this cupboard out? I can't. Yeah.
In sparkle mode, sometimes I just need you to stand still and let me hold you and
gives a cuddle.
Talk to me.
Just give me a cuddle. Yeah, let me lay on you. But it comes. The root of the success is that you give yourself what you need, and therefore you're fulfilled. The benefit to me then is if you're fulfilled, then so am I, because it follows. Just follows.
Yes, that's the thing. Our house is a happier place. This isn't about you pandering and me winning. This is about our home becomes a happier place. How much better has our life gotten? Like, my business has thrived. Like, our relationship is thriving. Our kids are, like, parenting feels easier. Like, there's a huge pile of clothes there that need to be put away that you've put up with them being there for quite some time. But you know Wild Mode's coming today, and you know that probably Wild Me won't deal with that. That will get sorted out.
Yes. So if we're late for the movie premiere, it's because she hasn't put everything away.
It's because I can't leave unless it's done.
Yeah. The thing that pisses me off about my generation in particular, and its generations prior, was that it was founded on this adversarial thing. You know, men had to conquer, and women had to be subjugated and subjectify themselves. The beautiful thing about the following generations is my children's generation and you guys and the generations, the millennials that are following, is that you've got an opportunity to break that mould, because it's not great. It's why our divorce rate's the way it is, because we enter these relationships with this sort of adversarial mindset that these are men are men and women are women. But they're not a whole. They can't be unified, because everything's got to be a battle. If I want something, then I've got to ask permission for it, as opposed to if I want something, then I ask you to assist me get it. I'm going out with the girlfriends. Oh Christ, well, I'm not going out with the boyfriend. They're my mates. So why are you going out with the girlfriends? Well, go out with the girlfriends, have a good time, and when you come home, you're going to be a better person for having that experience.
I think of when you play golf, you always sort of set the intention that you go and play golf and you go on for 4 or 5 hours, but that when you have the commitment that when you come back into the house that you're on and present, and it fills you up, and we all benefit as a result of it having filled
I
you
call
up.
I call it man time.
What's your time?
Yeah.
Because you're with you guys.
Well, I have my man time, and then I know that I've got to pay down on that. I've been given an opportunity to do something for me, and my family has made a sacrifice to do that, and so I now need to pay back that opportunity by
bring it in,
bring good energy into the home, be prepared to chip in and help out, and to be and to give thanks for the opportunity that I've had.
Anyway, that's a bit besides the point, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Samara says, yes, I love that. It's magic if she gives herself what she needs. This is such great insight. This is why so many women need to know about soul modes, because this is that life hack so she can know what's coming and to nourish the mode she's in. It's a great power of understanding herself. The magic of living through the modes of self-soul. There was a comment there around, she said Leslie said, maybe you've already answered this, but how do I explain this to my often eye-rolling partner? So for the partners who just don't really want to listen, I wonder what she could do to maybe, because the masculine loves evidence, right? I wonder if she could just show him how it's helping her, and he will see the evidence of that, rather than going, hey, here's a theory and a concept, I want you to get on board.
Don't fall into your habits and your routines. With the eye roll, then you go, oh, it's no point talking to you about it anymore. So break that. Be prepared to break the habit. If what you do, what do they say? The definition of madness is continuing to do the same thing time and time. So break the habit. Change the approach. So look at how you're approaching it, and change the approach.
Try a different angle.
Try a different angle, which is why I said start the conversation with, have you ever noticed? Or do you notice, or do you recall? And give an example. Like, give the example. So spend a little bit of time mapping yourself and potentially mapping his reaction in those times. So diarise it. So on Tuesday I was in wild mode and I did this and this, and he did this and this at this particular time, and this was the outcome. Diarise it and say, righto, here's an example. Here's the evidence proof that this is how we work with each other currently. What I would like to do is next time, can we try and change this?
Yeah.
I'll take, but you've got to take responsibility. See, this is the thing. That's why I'm saying this is only it's only going to be half effective if the bloke's not brought along with it. You got to tell him. Like, there's no point you knowing that you're in a particular mode and expecting him to know that you're in that mode. You've got to tell him. That's why I keep saying, put it on the bloody fridge, or put it on the front door. Bear in the house, or.
Well, that's why I've got the T-shirts.
Yeah. So he's got to know. So if he walks in and he's like, seaball, kickball, he walks in, is something on the fridge or wrapped around his can of beer or his scotch glass or whatever. You go,
particular colour flag.
Right, okay, righto. Or you just tell him, darling, this is how I am today. That's what'll work. But to come back to it, introduce him, to get him to understand and get on board with the theory and to engage in the first discussion, then perhaps an evidentiary-based, is that even a word? Evidentiary? Based discussion would be that.
What would it be like if like I had to come to you and said, I've learned something about myself and I'm finding it really helpful and it's making me feel quite good and I'd like to share it with you?
Yes. Yep. And then you'd start.
Your wife, your partner to feel good, right? You're going to be on board with anything that makes her feel good, surely.
You're with that person because you think they're a decent person.
Yeah.
So there's your first box ticked. Secondly, they probably share your value sets. If you're in a successful relationship, they share your value sets.
To a degree, yeah. And be an overlap.
Yep. And they might have, around the edges, a different perspective. But thirdly, they want to be happy and they want to make you happy. So this is a mechanism to you to leverage. These are things that you can leverage, knowing that that's the foundation of the person sitting across the table or on the other end of the couch. It's your approach to get them engaged that works. Whenever you want me to get on board with anything, and this is how successful she is. She got me to become a plant-based person for a short period. You gave me the evidence of it. We watched a documentary.
We're still quite heavily plant-based.
We're more. Well, you are. We're more
conscious consumers. We've decided we're
now.
conscious consumers.
But you did it by putting that documentary on. So
Game changers. Yeah.
So, yes, I rolled my eyes, but I watched it. It was an engaging piece. It was an engaging piece of television. and it was evidentiary based. But you got me to watch it and you get the same thing. You will get your bloke to listen by engaging them in the discussion and continuing to engage them in the discussion. And don't give up with the eye roll. Just eye roll. Just there you go. Eye roll. Now we're onto it.
It was like you with the bench seat. You were like, well, I think we'll get this bench seat for the end of our bed because we're moving house. And I was like, And then you were like, well, hang on, just picture this. We were like, this and this, and it doesn't need to all be matchy. And I'm like, okay, show me again. And then you showed me again. I was like, yeah, all right. Yeah, I can see it. Okay, buy it.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a bit like that.
Yeah. Do you want a better life with your lady? Do you want a better life with your lady? Sales pitch, elevator talk.
It's almost like, do you want a manual on because they're like, oh, can't understand moving. Like,
that's a good one. That'd be a good one.
How do you can't keep up with you. One day you want this and then my man impression is terrible. I can't keep up with you. One day you want this and then I can't figure women out. Women are too hard. It's like, here's a manual.
He cracked the code. Yeah, crack the code of your lady. Yeah, hack your lady.
You should write that book. How to hack your woman. That's awful. I'm sure we can come up with a much better name than that. There's lots of comments saying great insight, what a wonderful man, love you guys, etc. Thank you so much, you guys. If anyone has any more questions, quick, get them in there because otherwise I'll let this man go and chill out with this Sunday morning. Thank you so much for being here and continuing to be on this wild ride with me, which may take us around the world by the looks of things.
I'll be the purse holder.
What about to the ones whose wives are saying to them, I want to put a substantial investment into becoming a Soul Mode's mentor. I want to share this message with the world. What do you say to those ones?
Again, from a bloke's perspective and as a business owner's perspective, everything needs to be put into dollars and cents. What do they call it? I've gone blank on it. But what's the net return on that investment going to be?
Well, that's the thing is because they're probably sitting there going, well, I can't guarantee. I don't know. I can't guarantee it.
There's no guarantees in business. There's no guarantees in business other than you don't take the first step. You're guaranteed not to achieve anything. That's the only guarantee in business. So, if you're expecting a guarantee, then you're not going to. The success is that you won't ever achieve anything because you won't take the risk. But you don't take a risk without having an understanding of the risk, and you don't and the effort and the confidence that you're going to be successful. That's the key. You've got to have confidence in yourself, and it's what I see too often in people that are trying to make the shift from being somebody that works for somebody or within a safe organisation to an entrepreneurial role. Their fear and their confidence prevents them from doing it. Unfortunately, women particularly fall into that category because you've also got all these societal constraints that have been and programming that's been forced on them over the life, which your generation, thankfully, is doing something about changing. So, what would I say? That your conversation with your partner, you have to take them along with you. They have to understand what you're trying to achieve. You have to be passionate about it. If you're not passionate about it, don't do it. If you are passionate about it, then passion is the key to most success. And then your method will ensure the success. So if you have passion about it, and then you have method to follow it, and you're able to communicate and onboard your partner with that, then it's a matter of then going, well, do we want to take the risk? And the risk is, it's in monetary terms it's significant for a lot of people, but in business terms it's a small amount. The real investment's going to be in your time and your preparedness and your aptitude to take advantage of the learning. That's the entrepreneurial spirit that you've got to fire up.
Yeah. Like I think about the some of the things we've invested in bringing Soulmates to the point where it is now, working with a book coach and working with a publishing advocate and investing in marketing, and I've got a business coach, and we invest you know, like I work for that, but we could just keep all that. Instead, we're investing a chunk of it in bringing soul modes to the world. And we've had many conversations about, I'm like, I want to spend this amount on this. And it's like, okay, cool. And there have been times when you said, go for it, do it. And you felt more confident than I have. And I've been like, I don't know, this is a lot. And I guess,
but it's come
why
through you.
is that? I want to know.
Like,
you believe in this.
Yeah, I believe.
What do you believe is going to be in the world?
Well, first thing is I believe in you. The second one is your energy and your passion. That's why I was going on about energy and passion. Energy and passion for something. You don't see many successful people without energy and passion.
Yeah.
But you see lots of people that have got huge success. You go, how the fuck did they become? They're a drip. How did they get successful? You know, we've got President of the United States, for Christ's sake. Passion got him where he is, not the skill.
He's certainly passionate.
So, so it's your energy, your passion, my faith in you with your skill, but you also then support that by being able to take me along with you. You speak with me about it. You consult with me about it.
And you're sold on the concept.
And you communicate what that is. You sell the concept to me. And I'm saying sell. Change sell for communicate.
Yeah.
You educate me.
You're on board with it.
You educate me. And when we have those discussions, I'm able to offer my perspective, insight, opinion, recommendations. And you listen to those, and some of those you take on board, and some of them you go, they don't suit me because you're not my demographic. You often say, you're not my demographic. But nevertheless, I see in what you do and how you approach yourself the fact that it's you with we in it. It won't ever be successful without the we. Because it's a race run alone, and then it becomes adversarial. Oh, you're at work again, or what are you doing?
It's the same in your business. They're both family businesses.
Yeah, but you've got to have your partner along with you, and they've got to be prepared to accept that this life, that this is your life, and your life. You're working for us. I'm working for us. It's just that your work and my work is not. I leave home at that time in the morning, and I go and do that job for 8 hours, and then I get home and I don't do anything else. That's not the life. It's a lifestyle. Remember that lass that we went and saw she gave that talk at the Bendigo about Ballarat Chamber of Commerce thing, the Red Balloon lady?
The owner of Red Balloon, founder of Red Balloon. She,
golden words for her was that people go on about this work-life balance thing. There is no work-life balance. Work and life are intermeshed. So make them work-life. My family understands my work, and they're part of my work and part of my life. And my work is my family. And as a result of that, there's some synergy and harmony within that.
You're not divided between two things.
Again, there's not a division.
They both lift you, and your work enriches your life enriches your work.
And at the end of so we're done?
Oh,
shut up.
We have a comment saying, come back soon, Darren, for more conversations. So we're not done. We might be done with this one. Is there anything else you want to add to the women of the world? Tell them how wonderful they are, honey.
Yeah, you're the best part of it. But women are the best part of the world. Embrace it and get the message out to everybody.
Yeah, even if you're not going to become a soulmate's mentor, please tell the world about it anyway. Please do. Yeah. It can't just be me. I don't just want to be the face of this thing. I want every woman to be the face of this thing, because I want every woman's best friend to have told her about it. Yeah. Or, so you get to be the face of this thing, as in from share my posts or send them to my page or tell them to read the book, or the ebook's only a couple of dollars, please share it.
Yeah. Please make us poor fellas' lives a little easier by telling us.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. Honestly, it's as simple as that.
It makes life easier for you.
It does. It makes it so much easier. So much happier.
Darren has so much awesome wisdom about business as well. So I think that we'll probably, in the Soul Biz Sisterhood, which is where I teach Soul Modes for Business, in the Soul Biz Sisterhood, you can find that at carlymarie.com/soulbiz. We did an interview in there once, I think, about pricing or when one of the partner is a work at home parent, when they work at home. Anyway, we had a great conversation there. That was a lot more than a year ago because it was at Bonnie Doon. But I'd love to do some more little series in there actually because Darren's been in business.
That was with your first little cohort.
Yeah, that's in Soulbiz Sisterhood.
Oh, okay.
When it was
that was
early
early
on.
days. Yeah.
But you've run companies how long?
I've been self-employed for
30 years. So he's got a lot of learnings, a lot of really cool perspectives about things and some of the things Darren says helps me to be brave. When you say things like there's no certainty in business, nothing's ever guaranteed, and you've kind of got to be okay with risk and uncertainty, and there's been so much cool stuff he said that I've really loved. So if you want to work with Soul Modes in business, come and join me in the Soulbiz Sisterhood. If you want to be a trained and certified Soul Modes mentor, if you want to actually be doing this work in the world in a commercial sense rather than just sharing it from you can share it from a personal perspective till the cows come home, please do. But if you want to actually kind of use it in your business and use it in a commercial capacity, please do contact me. But using it in your business to manage your time and all that sort of stuff, come and join me in the Soulbiz Sisterhood, which is a monthly membership, and we might do some interviews in there because I think everyone really likes hearing from you.
But they're only human.
You're going to be the star of this show.
I'll have to talk to my agent.
Thanks, loves. And for those who are coming to the Soul Modes movie premiere this afternoon in Melbourne, I'm so excited to see you there. I think there might be like 2 tickets left or something. I would love to see you there. I'm excited to see you there. If not, it will be launched online. Of course it will be launched online. Come on, it all happens online. But this group of people get to see it first in person and come and squeeze me and have champagne with me, and I'm so excited. And us, you'll be there.
Pick the brains out of the lasses that are going to get up for the Q&A.
Yes, yeah. So other women, not just our perspective, but other women. Mim Dart, Brenda Mangalore, I think there's like 5 people on the panel, including Paula Ivy, who made the movie with me, and Lauren Kress, who's a scientist I've worked with along the way around my research strategies, which is very cool. That's why I stood up as a not-for-profit organisation owner. I stood up for the risk. Just One Woman Foundation. Very cool. Hi, loves. We're just jumping on. We're winding up, but I will press finish now, which means you can catch the replay. And thank you for being here. We love you guys. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
Bye.